There he is, a young blonde-haired girl zoomed in with her Polaroid camera and captured a photo of SCP-088, heavily wounded and exhausted. Now you told me we wouldn't kill him, as inhuman as he looks. Just recapture him, correct? Right, General? SCP-105 is a blonde, blue-eyed female, formerly known as Iris Thompson. She appears to be a normal human female in good physical condition, but has the strange, yet useful ability to interact and manipulate spaces within pictures. So far, the most effective way to accomplish this is via her own personal camera, though other pictures from other cameras can still be manipulated at various levels. Observers say that all they can see is a disembodied hand interacting from an invisible portal. SCP-105 looked at General Bao, the one in command of a dysfunctional but effective special MTF squad known as MTF Omega-7. That depends on SCP-076. If you could just do as he's told, we wouldn't be in danger of getting disbanded. Talk about me like that again, and I'll chop your head off and feed it to the slug demon. We both know you can't do that. The general had his back turned towards SCP-076 as he looked down the cliff at SCP-088. From his hands, SCP-076 began manifesting a short, black sword with a leather handle. Face me, fool, or I'll shove this sword up your ass. That is quite enough, Sir Abel. I'm sure the general did not mean it that way, but he does have a point. We have already failed to subdue 088 once. If we fail again, due to lack of teamwork, I'm sure we would be replaced with the Saiyan child. Oh, you mean Goku? Goku was it? Ah yes, the name you gave him. SCP-105 grinned, as she was the one to name SCP-9001. She knew all too well the dehumanizing way the Foundation treated the more decent SCPs. The veins on SCP-076 were bulging as his fury started to overtake him. The mention of that brat accomplished that. If you feel the need to let out your emotions, I'm always here, Sir Abel. SCP-662 is a small, silver handbell. When rung, it will produce a chime, although it possesses no ringer. Once rung, a man will appear, with the appearance of a butler of British heritage, calling himself Mr. Deeds. Requests can be made to Mr. Deeds, and he will carry them out to the best of his abilities, including being able to procure small items such as food, simple weapons, or even bricks of gold. More complex and bigger items seem to be impossible to procure for SCP-662. He is also, in a sense, immortal, as even though he can be killed, he will simply reappear once the bell is rung again. Fine, let's do this. SCP-088 had been running away from the Foundation for 18 years now. They sent various MTF squads after him, and none of them were able to recapture him. He had immense speed, strength, and regenerative properties, and thanks to SCP-9001, the ability to control his bioenergy, or ki. But it all changed when he sent in SCP-076. SCP-076 consists of two components, a stone cube and a humanoid entity contained within the stone cube. The humanoid inside is a dark, olive-skinned Semitic man in his late 20s, with dark hair and gray eyes, and tattoos that sprawl his lean body. When inside his coffin, he is dead, but occasionally he will reanimate and go on rampages, targeting human life. He is wild and unpredictable, a capable fighter with its vast array of abilities, such as superhuman speed, strength, and the ability to pull weapons from a rift in space. SCP-088 could hear them bickering from up above. He had amazing hearing, greatly amplified by his ki, but he could not run. Not anymore. In a previous fight, he and SCP-076 fought, and although SCP-076 was able to kill Tambourine, SCP-088 eventually killed him by catching him in a ki blast and tearing half his torso off. What he found strange was that he kept moving forward towards him, not at all fazed by the state of his body. He eventually collapsed and died. They then proceeded to chase him for various years straight, sending in MTF squads to wear him down. They soon stopped talking, and the group came sliding down to face SCP-088, who calls himself King Piccolo. King Piccolo stood up and prepared for his final battle, but this time, from the bushes, emerged an old man dressed in a suit, carrying a switchblade. Surrender yourself now, King Piccolo, and you do not have to risk your life. Don't jeep with me, you old buffoon. I know who you work for. Send my regards to the director and that giant monkey boy. Just before he could fire his key blast, he heard a rustle from behind him. Then a knife came hurtling straight for his head. He moved his neck to the side, and from above came SCP-076. In a rage, SCP-088 smiled. Oh, looks like we have something in common. SCP-088 and SCP-076 proceeded to fight, trading blows back and forth. King Piccolo was able to disarm Abel, but he kept rearming himself with different blades to try to catch him off guard. Abel's earpiece lit up and he heard SCP-105 start to talk. Abel, that wasn't part of the plan. I can't hit him if you're right next to him. I'll crush you too. Shut up, idiot. You're just getting away. SCP-105, ignore SCP-076. You can proceed. He'll die. It's okay. He'll just come back. Yeah, but last time it took 3 years. I promised him I would take him to the beach after this mission. He hasn't seen one in centuries. Who knows how long he'll stay dead this time. Damn it, Iris. Are you going to disobey me too? Perhaps I can be of assistance. If I were to switch places with Sir Abel, perhaps Lady Iris could feel comfortable using her abilities. I don't want anyone to die. Lady Iris, you have a heart of gold, but I must remind you that I can't come back within seconds, unlike Sir Abel. Fine. Good. Change of plans. SCP-076. Yeah, I got it. Here, old man. Catch. SCP-076 flung a rapier towards Mr. Deeds, while General Ball shot SCP-088 with his rifle, suppressing him. Sir Abel, how did you know I was a fencer? Just show me what you got, old man. In a flash, Mr. Deeds joined the fight. The two swordsmen attacked furiously, but SCP-088 wasn't a stranger to swordsmanship and kept himself from receiving fatal blows. Although SCP-662 didn't have the same speed and strength as SCP-076, he was a much better swordsman, being able to land various cuts on SCP-088. SCP-076 protected the old man from King Piccolo's key blast, redirecting him into the air. SCP-088 was growing furious. Every time he thought he had an opening to end one of them, they just covered for each other, or the man with the rifle in the back gave them suppression fire. SCP-105 was looking at her picture, being able to see everything, but she couldn't see an opening. SCP-088 had enough. He quickly gathered most of his ki and spread it throughout his body. He braced himself as he expelled most of it in an all-directional ki blast, sending everyone on the ground flying backward onto the floor. He approached the old man and kicked the rapier away from his hands. His suit was ruined and his chest was charred from the blast. Mr. Deeds was breathing hard and trying to maintain consciousness. First, the trash. SCP-088 picked up Mr. Deeds by the neck, and the butler wrapped his arms around the creature's forearm. Sir Abel, now! From the back of SCP-088 came a long, black spear that pierced both SCPs, pinning them to the ground. SCP-088 began prying himself from the spear, but it was halted by Mr. Deeds, barely alive. He slid the spear deeper into himself and hugged SCP-088. With the last of his breath, he spoke. Lady Iris, now! SCP-105 had been training for this day. Using the maximum of her abilities, she dipped her whole hand into the picture. She imagined herself bigger, being able to crush SCP-088. From above, King Piccolo saw a shadow appear. As he looked up, he saw a gigantic hand coming from the heavens, and it came smashing down, tearing every tree and crushing everyone caught under. SCP-105 fell backward as she pulled her hand away. Her hand was undamaged, but she still felt it. SCP-076 and the General approached the body of SCP-088. Nice job. SCP-076 manifested 2 more swords and towered above SCP-088's body. He looked at him, and he knelt to plunge his swords into his body. King Piccolo opened his eyes, and with the remainder of his ki, launched a quick final ki blast. He tore right through the left arm and torso of SCP-076, and directly headshotted General Bao. King Piccolo stood up and looked straight towards SCP-105. He smiled at her and began walking towards her. You're not going anywhere, you overgrown slug. Abel tackled SCP-088 to the ground. They wrestled for dominance, but SCP-088 was slowly healing and overpowered Abel. He chokeslammed the Semitic man into the ground and prepared another ki blast. Just then, SCP-088 heard a soft bell chime and felt something fall directly onto his back. Mr. Deeds plunged his switchblade into the back of the slug demon, making him scream in pain. and loosening his grip, unable. Woman, do it again, but you'll die. If you don't kill me, I'll climb that hill with my one arm and crack open your skull to scoop out all of the idiot. You foolish girl, do it now. With tears in her eyes, SCP-105 looked away as she plunged her hand once again, this time taking all of her energy. The hand came roaring down again and crushed all three combatants. SCP-076's body slowly began turning to dust as the last of his consciousness remained on SCP-105. SCP-088 knew he wouldn't survive this encounter. Good thing he had his offspring far away from here. He laughed maniacally. They would never get rid of him. They'll just have to wait for their next encounter. From his vision, he saw a grizzled man approach him with a revolver. He thought he had killed him, the man with the assault rifle, but his head was still intact, with not a scratch on him. The general knelt down and pulled his revolver to SCP-088's head. I thought you were to bring me in alive. What? So they can weaponize you and become even more powerful? No, I don't think so. The SCP Foundation has more than enough power under their belt. It's time they got taken down a few pegs. Hail the Red Ribbon Army.